Holy shit, dude. Yeah, if you thought I was going to go one podcast without saying a curse word, no, dude. No, dude. Um, so yeah, aptly titled, Where Have I Been? Getting kicked offline. That's it. So, I'm not sure what episode I'm even on now because I have to restart my account and get everything back signed in. This is crazy. A lot has happened. A lot has happened. So, first things first. Yeah. First things first. I'm a dad now, right? Cheers. We'll get to this in a minute. I'm a dad now. And there's a lot that goes on with that. A lot. That's mostly why I've been offline. I wanted to make sure I can give my kiddo just my utmost attention for the first year of her life. And I guess that's probably where I'll start because that's why I've been offline, and that makes sense to talk about. My kiddo, her name is Millie Joe. She has absolutely zero online presence, and that's going to remain until she can at least consent to decide to be online. I feel like that's fair. Um, yeah, man. She's a great kid. I mean, anybody that's watching this at this point, because I'm not a big guy, right? Anybody watching this is probably somebody that knows me. My kiddo is very smart, um, very intelligent. She she knows way too much for her age. At this point, at the time of recording, 17 months old. Crazy. So I've taken actually more than a year off. My last podcast was right before she was born. And I filmed another one, but I never posted it. My buddy was actually going to sponsor me, and he was going to edit it and do a whole bunch of stuff. And long story short, he and I both got drastically taken off in a different path in life. That's my best buddy. No shade to him. He's very successful, but he couldn't really do my project, and that honestly worked out perfectly because I couldn't continue doing my project either. So that worked. I think this is good. Yeah. So anyway, I have an unreleased episode somewhere in the interwebs. Probably won't ever become released. Sure, you guys wonder why I'm out here. That's pretty obvious. Can't really smoke indoors. Um, Back to the kiddo though. Yeah, so she was born in August. My last episode I think was in July 2024. It's January 2026. I got to get back in it. And no, this wasn't a New Year's resolution, by the way. Not even close to that. I've been talking about this for a while, and well, I got kicked off multiple social medias, and we'll get to that. Probably a good time, I guess, in a little bit, but that's part of the reason why I'm back here because I can't really use anything. I can barely use Snapchat. I can use Snapchat, I guess I should say, but I've been kicked off there before. I've been kicked off of Instagram, WhatsApp, which I don't even use. Never even had an account. Well, maybe I did when I was a teenager. I don't think I do though. Anyway, kicked off of WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook. Just got kicked off of Reddit last night permanently. Yeah, the only apps I can use are the ones I don't want to. Twitter, TikTok, probably MySpace. Shout out Tom from MySpace. He was a cool guy. Underrated. Um, yeah, back to the kiddo though. She's brilliant. Kenzie and I have been teaching her sign language, mostly Kenzie. I don't know sign language. I know Spanish. Uh, pero yo un poco, or yo hablo un poco, you know, or I guess I should say que sabes. um, yeah, I only speak a little bit of Spanish because it's been a while, and I'm smoking and drinking and doing all sorts of good stuff. I'm actually not. I'm just drinking water, regular water drinker. Um, but yeah, dude, the kiddo's brilliant. She knows like I would say she can sign over 100 words. She can speak almost 200. Uh, she can differentiate between her favorite cars, which, by the way, that's her. Those are her favorite things. She likes cars and airplanes a lot. I would say her favorite TV shows are Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood and Zaboomafoo. Yeah. Favorite movie? Marmaduke. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Kiddo's very opinionated. I wonder where she gets that from. Not me. But anyway, phenomenal child. Um, yeah. She's got a relationship with everybody. She's close with everybody in the family. Yeah, dude. I mean, she's literally just perfect. I don't mean to say that in like the stereotypical, of course, my kid's perfect way, but like, dude, she's doing everything I want her to do. And I am going to toot my own horn a little bit about it because I come from a shit life, dude. I come from a lot of trauma, a lot of baggage, which we'll probably get to some of it, but anyway, great kid. I got a lot of gray hair, right? I got gray hair here in the hair. It's there. Anyway, been through a lot. Don't want my kid to. I want my kid to go through what's called manufactured crises, which basically means she doesn't actually go through any real struggles or traumas. We create them in a structured environment where she can grow and not experience the real anxiety that I did or that Kenzie did. Um, I take parenthood very seriously, which is part of the reason why I've been MIA. And I apologize for that. It was only semi intentional. Cheers. Probably should give you guys a brief timeline of events, right? My kiddo was born in August 24. I got permanently kicked off of apps. Ironically, a week after the election in 2024. Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp. Fully kicked off. This podcast got deleted too. So technically, I got ban hammered twice. And we're going to try to work around that. Don't tell anybody, you know? Because if this ends up coming out and I end up getting, you know, not famous, but if I get enough of a following where my account becomes viewable by the people at Instagram and Facebook, Meta, I'm just going to cut to the chase. I didn't do what they said I did. I flat out did not. And that's not some stupid, oh, I'm innocent. No, dude, they accused me of some shit that physically could not have happened. Facebook is the app that shut me down, and that's why I got shut down from everything because of what I'm about to say. But Facebook in November of 2024 made the actual proclamation that, or not proclamation, that's aggressive. They made the actual accusation that I was facilitating drug and gun sales on their platform. My hand to God. That's literally what they accused me of. They didn't let me appeal it. I tried to multiple times. I sent email after email. I tried calling people. Just gonna cut to the chase. There's no one to call if your account gets shut down at Facebook. There's no one to email. There's not even a call center back in India. I'm not trying to be prejudiced, but there's nothing to do, nowhere to go. I want to be sedated. Shout out the Ramones. Come on, nothing to do, nowhere to go. I want to be sedated. Come on, right? That's a classic for those who know. Anyway, yeah, they tried saying I did some shit that I did not do. You can't appeal it. There's no one to talk to, and that's that. I tried making multiple accounts. Ban hammer. Couldn't get on it. Okay, roger that. Eventually, I'm able to get back on Instagram because I didn't actually do anything on Instagram. So I'll just cut to the chase, dude. The only thing I posted on Instagram, anyways, was memes or were memes that I was making for my podcast. Anybody that went to my old Instagram knows I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't. And they accused me of some shit that I just did not do. Now, we'll get to that in a vastly different episode about why I think that is. But the short version of that is that's bullshit. I didn't do what they said I did. Short and sweet, I didn't with Snapchat either. Snapchat, I got banned because of AI, which I think that's why I got able to get back on the platform with a different username. They banned both my wife and I for posting mushrooms. And bullshit, you not. Whoops. Bullshit, you not. They were not psychedelic ones. They were just ones that we found in the woods. Totally normal. I don't even know if they were edible. I just posted pictures of them because my dumb hippie ass thought that they were kind of cool. Cheers. You know? Smoking on a Oliva Series V tonight, by the way. Those who know, you guys will know. Come on. This is good. Trump just tariffed the fuck out of these, by the way. Shout out my wife. She just got these for she got me a 15 pack for like $70. Stupid, bro. Shout out the wife. He just got tariffed at like 90%. So whatever price that we just hit it at, double it. All right. I'm 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 stoked. Shout out to Series V. Now, this is a sampler, so I'm getting sidetracked. But if I got a whole stack of Series V's, it would be a lot more. We got a sampler pack. She got it for me for Christmas. It was the whole works. Loved it. Anyways, I got banned off Snapchat. I got banned off Meta. All Meta platforms except for Instagram. I'm back on it. And then I just got banned off of Reddit last night. Now, those who know me know me. I like to debate people, and I usually win. Hey, not my words. My words. Hey, I don't mean to say, but listen, it's very short and sweet. I like to get in debates, and it usually gets me in trouble. And ironically, it's not because I'm malicious. I don't really believe in ad hominem attacks. I don't do things like that. But I'm very poignant, and I'm very intentional. I'm very, um, I guess you could use the word confrontation, but with logic. I'm not physical. I'm not verbal. I'm vulgar. I use cuss words. I mean, come on, who doesn't? And I'm not trying to sound like some Italian. I notice I keep saying "come on," but no, I cuss a little bit, but I'm not a piece of shit when I debate people. But it gets me in trouble because I'm actively engaging a lot with the platforms that I use. right? So inevitably, I comment more, or I'll share things more, or I'll do whatever more than your average person that just likes, scrolls, reposts, or whatever. So anyway, yeah, I was kicked off of Reddit because I accurately revealed the truth that Muhammad, the prophet for the Islamic faith, he had a child bride named Aisha, depending on how you pronounce it, Aisha. Um, he was in his 50s. She was 9. Yeah, give that one a Google. Furthermore, that was when they had sex. Yeah, yeah. Their verbiage, not mine. Obviously, my verbiage would be much different. But that's when they consummated the relationship. According to the Quran, she was 6 when they were betrothed, which essentially means wed. He was in his 50s. And I basically reminded people of that fact. And that was hateful to the point where I got instant banned off of Reddit. Anyway, that's not a part of the timeline I was going through. So I got banned from various platforms beginning in November, right after the election, and I think that that's very aptly timed. But um, it's whatever. I'm not too mad about it. It coincided with what I was looking to do anyway. In December, the United Healthcare CEO got shot and killed. As you guys know, I'm an insurance agent. I felt a type of way about that. I feel a type of way about that. Now, look, two things can be true. Okay. And I wish more people would say this. Two things can be true. We can agree that the healthcare system in America is deeply flawed, benefits the rich and the shareholders. Nobody talks about the shareholders. Benefits the rich and the shareholders, and it's corrupt. And we can also simultaneously say that the solution to that is to not murder the CEO of those companies, right? Two things can be true. However, when that man died, only one thing was true for most people, and it was one or the other, right? And that was hard for me, especially working in insurance. Now, for those who don't know, a brief reminder: I have my property and casualty, home and auto, and I have my life and health licenses. So I literally am licensed in everything except annuities. And that's just because nobody really does those that's an insurance agent. If you want annuities, typically you go to a retirement planner, which is justifiable, right? I don't go into a lawyer's office telling him how to do business. I'm not an annuities guy. It's not my thing. Now, if you want off the record advice on what to invest in, you bet your ass. I can give you some good off the record stuff. But I'm not going to put my career on it, is basically my point. Anyways, I'm licensed. I'm an expert. That was the context of that situation there, bringing that up. I've been an expert since COVID. Um, I was 22 when COVID happened. So cutting through the noise, my entire adult career, minus a couple years, has been in insurance. I know this industry very well, okay? And a lot of the stuff that was talked about with Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare, vividly not true. Uh, his company, United Healthcare, is currently being litigated against because they had a system that was built by AI that automatically declined a bunch of people because of a software bug. Key note, okay? Public forgets that part. Public also likes to say that Brian Thompson created that. He didn't. He approved it. CEOs are like presidents. They approve a bunch of shit every fucking day. Are we trying to really say that they actually read everything that they approve? They don't. They don't. Let's hold them to a lower standard than that, okay? They're rich elites. They don't do shit. They don't. They sit on their ass. They're slobs. Many of them cheat on their wives. Many of them rape kids. I mean, they're just horrible people. Okay, let's not pretend that they have a good work ethic. Okay, can we just cut through the shit? Right? He approved something that was designed by somebody else that had a flaw in that system that banned about 80% of the claims that came in. And yeah, that's fucked. It's actively being litigated against. Now that he's been murdered, the trial's been put on hold, or not necessarily been put on hold, but delayed because one of the key witnesses in the fucking trial, oh, I don't know, he leaked out on the streets of Manhattan by a pretty boy named Luigi. And I won't lie, shit, guy's handsome. Could use some eyebrow tweezing, okay? But he got him, and he got him good. I mean, dude, if you've seen the fully unedited video where Brian's like, I'm not gonna talk about it too much, but he's like crawling in the alley, dude, and people are running away. It's like one lady, she sees the whole thing and she just runs away as it happens. Dude, it's fucked. The reason I bring that up, this happened in December 2024, 13 months ago. About half the people that I know were fucking okay with this. I talked most of them down the ledge. Thank God. Oof. I talked most of them down the ledge. But not everybody saw reason, bro. A lot of people didn't. I lost one of my best friends over this. Since my daughter's been born, I have, we'll just say I've lost contact with 4 people that I was close with otherwise, because my beliefs have just changed since my daughter was born and they don't align with me. But one of them, look, dude, I'm not here to put name on. I'm not here to slander. It's not how I was raised. I don't do that. But I will say this. I got into an argument with somebody that I was very close friends with about Brian Thompson being shot in the back in the streets of Manhattan. He said he deserved it because he was a rich guy and he was fucking it over for everybody else. Blah, blah, blah. He was just such a bad guy. Anyway, this kid, he's got 2 kids of his own. He's on EBT by choice. Okay. I mean, he's scamming the government. And I try to make him see reason. I'm like, dude, I don't know if that guy's the piece of shit in this situation. I think maybe if we're comparing, you know, when's the last time you've had a job? Oh well, I'm making money. Da, da, da. You're on stamps because you haven't filled out your resume in years. He flat out told me my job was a scam. Said I'm a scam artist. Said a whole bunch of nasty shit because I offended him basically. And said that I condone the murder of millions of Americans because I don't condone the murder of this guy getting shot in the back. Arbitrarily and patently false, but okay. I was friends with that guy for a long time. And we had a falling out because ultimately, morals. He thinks it's okay that you can kill people if they're of a certain status, and I think that you cannot kill people unless in defense of your life or another. Or, killing a serial killer, things like that, serial rapist. You get where I'm going. That was one, dude, and that was in December. And then I cut out a lot of other people. I did, just a few other people, 3 people, I guess. I don't really want to go into it because it's not what this is about. The point is a few months after my daughter was born, I got kicked offline most major apps, and then I had kind of just an awakening, dude. I realized a lot of nasty shit's going on. I don't want to be a part of it. If you are a part of it, miss me with it. I don't really want that. You know, I'm kind of past that part of my life. That's that. I'm officially older than my dad was when he died, which has been wild for me. That's pretty hard to. That's pretty hard to kind of come to terms with. My dad was 27 and something odd days, and yeah, I did the math to figure out how many days it was, and blah 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 blah. I'm older than him now. Cheers, I guess. Fuck. I don't really have anything else to expand on that topic, but it happened. Yeah, that happened. I took a brief stint away from insurance, and then I did senior living for a while until I didn't. You guys are gonna like this. This is a funny story. I got a mouth on me, and that's never been debated. So I work in senior living, right? We did this over the summer, 2025, and yeah, you're working with old folks. And I worked in independent living. I had a big campus, two buildings. We had assisted living and independent living, two separate buildings, right? I worked in independent living, so I had the schmoes, the people that were pretty chill. Shout out Frankie and PJ and oh shit, what's his name? Frankie, PJ. Oh, I'm missing his name. It was Randall. I don't know. But man, anyways, I had a couple of folks in there that were born right after World War II, and I loved them to bits, and they were nice folks. Anyways, I worked in senior living for 3 months, and I called a bitch out for being a racist little piece of twat, and they didn't like that. And it wasn't a senior that was living there, believe it or not. It was an employee. And man, I'm gonna get vulgar here, but you guys gotta know the context. She was talking about teenage dicks in work meetings, and she was firing black people at her last job for the sake of being black. And like, I'm not making this accusation myself. Her former employees were chasing her down in our Google reviews, saying this once a week, once a week. At one point, we had 5 Google reviews on there. We were getting them all taken down because we can't control what she did at our last job, right? It's not something that happened at our employment that we could have proved yet. So, anyways, they were taking the reviews down every week. Boom, boom, boom. She's a bitch. She's firing people for being black. And the nasty part was, get this, she would promote them first, and then she would fire them later on because she said that they couldn't conform to the duties of the position, a position that they never asked for, at a position that she promoted them into by waving a pay raise in front of them, thinking that that was the way to be. Oh my God. Don't get me wrong, it's hard times. I would take any pay raise right now. I think all of us would. But you can't then fire somebody for saying they can't perform to the duties when that wasn't what they were trying to do anyway. Come on. And this wasn't one review. This was like a half dozen eventually. It's like a half dozen people that said this. I think the total amount of reviews we got were 6 or 7. 5 was at one time, and then we were able to thin it out. Thank God. Anyways, she was a bitch. And I caught her being a bitch. And my coworkers caught her being a bitch. And eventually I was like, all right, bitch, I've had it. And short rap sheet of what we physically witnessed. I witnessed her scream at somebody who was paying $8,000 a month to live somewhere. 100 grand a year to live somewhere. She was making a complaint about the food, a valid complaint, 100 grand a year. She said, I pay way too much to live here. I feel like my standard of living and my quality of care is not good enough. She gets 3 inches from this gal's face, cusses her out, says, I will find you your fucking replacement myself, and I will will you out of here myself, and blah, blah, blah. I myself witnessed that, all right? So that's infraction number one. Infraction number two. Our shuttle driver was taking a guided marketing tour to the neighborhood, right? Or a guided shopping tour for the neighborhood. So the people with dementia and Alzheimer's and the independent living residents all, excuse me, all combined could go on a bus around the local grocery stores. So like Fred Meyer's, grocery outlet, Costco, Winco, that kind of thing. And it was a cool gig. The shuttle driver would drop them off and boom, 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 boom. But if you were memory care, if you were Alzheimer's, if you were dementia, any of that, you had to have a chaperone. And no shit. You can't leave somebody who's got restricted memory capabilities and cognizance. You can't have them out there by themselves. So he came in because one gal didn't have a chaperone. He said, Miss, hey, we need a chaperone for this gal. She's like 90. Can't have her out here by herself. She'll break a hip. She won't even know where she's at. Anyways, Lisa Carluck. Yeah, I'm name dropping her because she's a bitch. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. She screams at Jeff, the guy that was pretty nice. Says, I'm not going to be berated in my own building. If I don't want to have a fucking person on the bus, I won't have a fucking person on the bus. We don't need to have a chaperone. I signed off on it. Jeff throws his hands up in the air and says, all right, well, I signed off on canceling the trip. I'm not getting sued. No way. I'm not getting sued. I'm not doing that. So that's that. That's infraction number 2, baby. And at this point, he's getting pissed. I'm just getting pissed off. Started talking about the teenage dicks. We'll call that 2.5 because whatever. I mean, people say stupid shit offhand, and I'm not going to use it too much against them, but work meeting was weird. Make sure we're doing all right. We're doing all right, baby. Okay. So we're in there, and she's talking about teenage dicks. Okay, whatever. Whatever. Talk about what you want to talk about. But she was weird, man. And the last time, dude, one of my coworkers came to me crying, bawling her eyes out. I ain't gonna name drop her. She didn't do anything wrong. Doesn't need to be talked about. But she started crying and she was just having it. So I called. We had a work thread email or whatever with all of us on it, talking about what our plans were. I was the marketing director and sales director. Okay, up there, I was on pace to make $90K a year, and I sacrificed all of that for what I'm about to fucking tell you. We had a work email. And the building next door was trying to take credit for a marketing event that I already planned under her bullshit. And I flat out told him, cheers. I think it takes a little bit to get going sometimes. Usually a little bit better. Anyways, I kind of replied to the thread and I said, hey, that's awesome. That's fine. I did already plan that. And the last event that we planned, your guys' building, like verbatim, didn't show up. And their building is the one that's got Alzheimer's and dementia. So if anybody needs to show up and we plan an event, it's literally them. I showed up for every event, even in the ones I didn't plan. 2 buildings, right? So 2 marketing directors, 2 sales directors. Everybody's got their own shit to do. But we planned events as a community. Show up for your event. Last one they didn't show up for. So I emailed them back, and this one that we were going to do was going to be a Halloween event, trunk or treat, and an Oktoberfest in the back. I planned the whole thing. Go back over there. I bet they fucking love it. Come on. Anyway, I replied to that thread, and I said, hey, I'm all on board that you guys want to be a part of this, but I'm just going to be very forthright. The last event that we planned, I got no effort from nobody. I really don't appreciate people trying to take credit for an event that I'm trying to plan and spearhead here. Like, if you guys are going to be involved in this, it's going to be on my day and on my time, because you guys didn't show up the last few times. And Lisa didn't like that. She called a fucking meeting. I said, okay, good. I'll see you there. And the meeting was in my office. I love that. My office. My turf. She's fucking 30 minutes late after rescheduling the meeting. And I was doing work at that point because I am not going to wait for you. Coming to my meeting, my boss goes, hey, time to meeting. Okay, let's sit down, let's have a chat. Then it all comes out. It all comes out. Her coworkers or her subordinates, people that were under her, were disrespecting me and my team. And my team is mostly women, many of whom are not going to stand up for themselves. And so that was kind of my job to do it. And so I stood up for my team and T and everybody and Trina and Tanisha, or T is Tanisha, duh. Yeah, dude, I stood up for my team, basically. And I told Lisa, hey, you're not really welcome in my office. You're like a blatantly piece of shit person. You are racist. You talk down on me, and you treat me like I'm your son just because I'm the same age as him, which isn't my fault. You legitimately talk to me like I'm a child. I'm a grown-ass man. And she basically played victim. She flopped like a fish and played victim. She literally said, how dare you? I'm a gay woman. And I flat out told her, because I brought up that she's racist, hilarious. She goes, how dare you? I'm a gay woman. And so I flat out, quick as fuck, I said, you don't think a gay woman could hate black people? That's mighty dumb of you. Mighty dumb. And dude, it just got off from there. I called her racist. I said she's unfucking welcome. I said, get the fuck out of my office. I was mean. And to a point. And in that process, I flat out said, you disrespected her, me, and him. My only person in there was my boss, Alex, that was a man. Everybody else was a gal, dude. And I just aired it out. I told her that that's not okay. You don't treat people like that. Can't treat people like that. And I'm not going to fucking work for people who do. I got fired. Joke's on them. I was leaving anyway. I got unemployment too. And that was cool. That was cool. Now I work at State Farm. And I work for a phenomenal guy. Great guy. And I've already been lippy to people there too. And it's funny? My new boss backed me up. He said, I like the way you think. Some gal literally this week, she's getting her title or her tabs renewed at the place next door. And I'm on lunch. I'm just listening to Candace Owens in my car. And if you guys haven't listened to her, holy shit, dude. She's been having some great stuff lately. But listen to her in my car, and I hear this grandma literally call a kid a motherfucker. And I go, oh. So I look up, I'm like, what was that? I heard it over my car. I heard it over my podcast, everything. I'm like, whoa, who said that? And I look up, and it's a grandma talking to a kid, like a 6-year-old. She goes, you motherfucker, you little shit. She goes, if you don't, she chases him around the side of a little crossover, it's like a Ford Flex or whatever. She goes, if you don't fucking knock it off right now, I'm going to smack you in your fucking face. I go, oh. Get out of my car. shut my car off, do all my shit, and yeah. Oh no. Actually, my car was on. Excuse me, because that's the second half of the story. My car was still on. I get out of my car. I walk up to her. She's 3 aisles over, not like cars. I'm talking rows, like where cars drive. You know what I mean? So she's like 70 feet away, 80 feet away. I heard her over all of this. I go up to her. I say, "Hey, whoa, whoa. So you don't talk to kids that way." First thing she goes, "You shut your fucking mouth." And I say, "Actually, I don't think I'm gonna. You don't talk to kids that way. You just don't. You don't talk to kids that way. That's fucked up." And she had 5 kids with her. All of them were Polynesian. She was a white woman with short hair. So context tells me she's a grandmother to some kids that she might not be racially fond of. And anyways, I talked to her for about 20 more seconds. And I'm like, don't talk to kids that way. And I walk away, trying to just let it be. She, as soon as I turn around, says, "You get your fucking ass inside that," whatever it was, like a hair salon. "You get your fucking ass inside there right now, or I swear to God." I go, "Okay." Turn the car off, walk my ass clean into that hair salon, straight in there. And my boss is watching me. Same with my 2 coworkers, which, funny story, I'll tell you about them in a bit. But, dude, I walk my ass clean into that hair salon. I look the oldest one in the face. She's probably 13, maybe 14 years old. Again, Polynesian. And I just ask her, I say, "Hey, do you need me to call the police or somebody or anybody?" She immediately goes, "No. She's my grandmother. She's my grandmother." Like I said, "That's not what I asked." I said, "Do you need me to call somebody?" And she got like super defensive. She goes, No. That's my family. Please don't call anybody." We've all heard that before. Please don't call anybody. That's when, kids don't want to get CPS involved because they don't got nowhere else to fucking go. Sucks. 9 years ago, yesterday, literally 9 years ago yesterday, one of my best buddies' little brother was found dead. And he was in a foster home. I'll just say that. I don't really want to talk on that anymore, but it's just relevant because it happened this week. Anyway, I'm fine. I miss you, Alex. You're a good kid. Sucks he never got to graduate. So I'm talking to the gal. I say, "You need me to call anybody?" She goes, "No." There we go. Got to get that thing going. She says, No. Please don't call anybody. It's just my family. I go, "Okay." I look at grandma again. She's shitting her pants. The fact that I literally walked her ass right back down again. And I look at her face right in front of the lady at the cash register because she's about to get her grandkids' haircut. I go, "You don't ever talk to kids that way. You don't call them mother effers. You treat them with love. These are your family. These are your kids." And she goes, "But they were I literally cut her off. I said, "I don't give a shit." I said, "These are children. You don't call them motherfuckers. You don't threaten to hit them. And you sure as shit don't do it in a parking lot where I can see it or anybody else can see it. That is just terrible. Have some class." And then I told her, I said, "By the way, I took a picture of your license plate. Don't make me give it to somebody." And I walked my ass back to work, 2 doors down. And they asked what I did. I told them what I did. All of them said I did the right thing. Crazy how 2 places, 2 different working environments can treat you. Now, should I have called Lisa a bitch and said she was unwelcome and fuck you and all that? No, probably not. But, oh man, dude, should you be cussing out employees before me? right? How come she got fired, by the way? Let's just say that. Lisa got fired too. I aired her out super tough. She got super fired. And she didn't even get unemployment, in fact. Don't ask me how I know that because I'm not supposed to, but she didn't get unemployment, I did. Fuck you, Lisa. Deal with it. Um yeah. That's all I have to say about her. And my new job is great. I really, really, really like it. I sell life insurance again on top of auto and home and boat and fire, whatever, dude. If you need it, I got it. Okay, I do. I'm coming down to a new style of podcasting where I think I'm gonna be uh, not editing as much. Honest to God, two reasons. Man, I love reason number one. Reason number one, I don't have asthma that much anymore. Shout out God. Okay, literally, shout out God. This happened in February 2025, 11 months ago. I now have a year's worth of asthma medications. Actually, I have 13 months worth. And it's because I still use them, but at such a low interval and basis now that if I literally do not refill them again, which I need to go pick them up right now, if I do not refill them anymore, I have 13 months of meds, dude. Like, come on, or dude. I said dude, that was stupid. I have I've got 13 months of asthma medication saved up. I get occasional frogs in my throat. That's it, man. I mean, dude, it's cheers. It's straight up cheers. And I really don't know what happened. Because you guys remember my old podcast, I sounded like shit. I really did. Took the sticker off. Hey, don't hate me. But cheers. I'm just gonna keep saying cheers because I've been in a crazy place the past year and a half. You guys have missed a lot, and I'm trying to get you caught up. And this is like the spark notes. Like, dude, I could make an episode about each of these individual things. I haven't even gone through everything yet. Smallest world ever. I work with the wife of my dad's old coworker from when they were Army Rangers. So that's fucking cool. My dad died as a Ranger. His friend Scotty, that I just got to meet and I work with his wife and have for a few months now, Scotty loved my dad, I found out. And they were just fucking buds, dude. And that's done stuff for me. That's really healed a lot. Being able to talk with man that knew my father intimately. Not like just like, oh, I was your dad's friend. Like, dude, these guys were naked together. And you just know it. You know what I mean? They were fucking Army Rangers. They were in the barracks together. They lived together. They went on mission together. Uh, Dude, my phone died. Of course it did. I just get done telling you how I'm not gonna do any fucking editing and all this cool shit, and then I start talking about my dad, and my phone dies. Love it. That shit's funny to me. Spill some water. Funny. But yeah, Scott's a cool dude, man. He's really cool dude. If you guys know any Army Rangers, uh, they're all cool, man. I've never, not one Ranger have I met, and I think I know four. All great ass dudes, dude. Like, I mean, they die for your dog. Like, that's how they are. You know what I mean? They're just super real, super raw, super good people. This mic's great. I think it might even be a little bit too close. I'm learning. You know what I mean? I'm learning. If I if I sound like shit, see that's the whole point. We're doing this thing raw, baby. We're doing this thing raw. We're doing this thing no lube. I don't know who said that, but it wasn't me. Um, yeah. Wow. I think that, and this might be a bold take. I think my autism's getting better. Excuse me. Man, that frog's in the back. Hitting this doesn't help. Excuse me. Yeah, I really do think that my autism is getting better. Like my facial tics are less, and I'm stuttering more, but I'm able to be more calm and relaxed. I fidget with my feet more now. That's my more recent stim, but I'll take it because nobody sees it, and if they do, they just think, "Oh, this guy can't sit still." Who can? That's cool. It's been going for me. What else? Oh yeah, Charlie Kirk. He got shot. Maybe. I'll save my full thoughts on him for its own episode, or maybe an episode that's part of something else. But at face value, the official story is bullshit. Just like it was with JFK, just like it was with MLK Jr. Honestly, just like it probably was with RFK Sr., because Jr. thankfully never got shot. RFK Jr., man, like him or not, but he's done some dope things in the past year. Lowering the amount of mandated, excuse me, lowering the amount of mandated vaccines for kids, I think that's universally a good thing. I don't care who you are. Vaccinate your kids as much as you want to. Literally, I have no problem with that. Why are we forcing it? I didn't really realize that until I started becoming a parent, right? Because you start thinking about these things. It wasn't something I really had much of an opinion on. Once Kenzie got pregnant, I started looking into this and I'm like, whoa, holy shit. Like, even European countries don't vaccinate their countries as much as we do. All of our allies that we're in NATO with don't vaccinate their kids as much as we do. I'm not out here screaming that shit causes autism. I think I don't know. But I do know that we vaccinate more than our allies. And I just don't know if we need to. And again, I don't think that it causes autism. I think that there might be chemicals in vaccines that may cause environmental issues that could lead to autism. And even that I don't have proof for, which, I can do that. I can put my hand up here and admit I don't have proof for that claim. I don't. Most people won't admit that last part. They'll just say vaccines cause autism. I don't even think that. I really don't. I truly believe that there's some byproducts in vaccine that could have links to environmental causes of autism. That's very loosely related. I wish people had that nuance. But yeah, dude, RFK lowered the amount that's mandated. That's universally a good thing. We should have more choice in our children's healthcare. More choice, not less, more. If you want to get your kid every flu shot, a COVID booster every 6 months, tetanus every 5 years, it's supposed to be 10. If you want to get tetanus every 5 years, and if you want to do everything, do it, man. If that's what you believe, and if you've done your research to justify that, please do. I think that that's the best decision for your child if you've done the research and that makes sense for your child. Me, and you can take this to the bank, not a single needle has entered Billy Joe's skin. Not a single one. She hasn't been vaccinated for anything. And she had COVID this year. She had the common flu this year. Promptly kicked both their asses. And I'm not saying I know better. All right, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying I know anything. Okay, but I will put it on everything I hold dear. She is 90th percentile, 2 off the charts in height, depending on when she goes to the doctor. As you guys know who are parents, your child's when they're in a toddler and infant stage, they have crazy growth spurts where they'll grow a bunch and then don't, and then a bunch and then don't. So she's anywhere between the 90th percentile and off the charts for height. I think she's like 70th or 80th percentile in weight. Just pristine size, dude. Immaculate. She's like a boy. Just perfect size. And she's brilliant. Her dexterity is great. She can already throw a ball and swing a bat. Not very good on that second one, but she can throw a ball, count to 10. She can climb up the stairs. I mean, dude, she's just killing it. And she's been able to do a lot of these things for more than a month now. It's wild. Um, my point is here is my baby's healthy because I made a decision that I felt would benefit her. I'm not some uneducated person. I don't hate my neighbor's kids. Excuse me. I'm not jeopardizing their lives. I'm not doing any of these stupid things. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm not any of that. I believe you should vaccinate your kids if you want to vaccinate your kids. I believe I should have the choice to opt out. I'm also going to homeschool my kid. And I don't care what you think about that. Tough shit. Because if I homeschool my kid, and you fuckers can just face facts. If I homeschool my kid, two things. I'm in direct control of her education, which we know I was a recipient of good education because my mother was an advocate for my receipt of good education, not because the public school system actually works. I was an AP and honors school or honors classes for the majority of my curriculum. Regular public school sucks. And even in AP, you could ask any of my teachers, I slacked my ass off and still got good grades. They hated it. A lot of teachers would physically watch me do tests because they thought I was cheating. My point here is I'm a very smart child, or I was a very smart child, and I know that that is not going to benefit my child if she's anything like me, or even anything like her mom. Mackenzie is a very smart woman, and she's gotten just off the charts intelligence since becoming a mother. Her intuition, dude, ladies, mothers, moms, you guys have a knowledge that I wish I could tap into. Women that are mothers, they can just, dude, it's hot. They can feel things, man. They just know what's going on, and Kenzie knows what's going on. She's a really smart woman. So if our daughter is anything like us, she can't be in public school, and we can't afford private school. That's point one. Point two, in this school, the teachers are armed. So there's not going to be a school shooting at the Page school. I didn't know if I was going to call it elementary or middle school. There's not going to be a school shooting here. My kid's not going to be harmed. She's going to be safe. She's going to be surrounded by love. Kenzie works from home. I work 5 minutes down the street. Man, blessings have been abundant for my family lately. Um, Speaking of the blessings and abundance and things like that, we've been going to church. Kenzie has found God. For those who have been praying for her and wanting her to have a relationship with Jesus, she has now, dude. And I'm very happy. I have always been a Christian. I'm ethnically Jewish, as you guys know, but I was raised in Jesus. I was raised in Christianity, and I have always been respectfully quiet about it because I know that most people just don't want to fucking hear it, and that's fine. That's totally fine. But short and sweet, my wife is starting to go to church, and she's loving it, man. She's been crying every time we go. Our pastor, his name's Pastor John, just a sweet man. His daughter's like 2 months younger than Millie Joe. Her name is Rory. Just a beautiful kid. Good family. Anyway, this whole thing started because Kenzie had been asking for a sign forever and a day. You know, God, please show yourself to me, or somebody, universe, answer me. I need something. And I'm not kidding you. Kenzie had been feeling this way for I don't know actually how long, but I would say maybe a year, 2 years. Wild. And the short and sweet version is this: her best friend had a daughter a day before we did, and then the mother, her best friend, had a stroke, and now she's disabled. She's alive, but I wouldn't call her well, right? Dang it, this thing went out. She's yeah, and she's a sweetheart. Her name's Nicole, good gal. She's alive, but we're trying to get her back to 100. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but that's sign number one: is the fact that she survived something that at one point had an 87% chance of killing her. They had to remove her skull. No lie. They had to remove her best friend's skull. And again, her daughter is a day younger than mine. I mean, this could not be closer to home. She had a postpartum stroke. Kenzie gave perfectly healthy birth. And so she just felt blessed from that. And also she felt that simultaneously, and this is the second part of the story, a lot of you people are vengeful, and I hate that. But she felt that she was blessed. She was blessed because she was saved and she had a healthy birth. And she was blessed because her friend was saved from what could have been a completely cataclysmic birth, and she could have died. Right? So that was blessing number one. I'm trying to get some Smokey the Bear on this, man. I'm trying to start a wildfire. I like the Oliva Serie V's. Nicaraguan cigars. It's a good country for tobacco. Them and the Dominican Republic for the Fuente series. Good cigars. Anyways, those are my blessings for the wife. And then there's a few other ones, but I think the biggest one for me is she was very intimately like asking like, should I go to church? Should I kind of follow what my husband believes and what his family believes and what my family believes? Kind of what she was, I'm paraphrasing, but that's kind of where she was going, right? I'm filling up gas one day. In this car right here, I'm right next to it. 2022 Subaru Crosstrek. It's her car. It's a manual. Fun as shit to drive. We're filling up gas. I'm pumping gas for her. It's her car. You do that. And I'm just pumping gas, and we hear a commotion across the street at Safeway. And it's a church, and they're screaming and they're shouting and they're hollering about how they're gonna do a big promotion and they're gonna post it on their Facebook, and that's what they're filming the video for. And you know, I'm trying to think of what the other blessing was, but we'll focus on the story here because this is a blessing in itself. Uh, they were doing their promotional video, and they're like, "Woo, whatever." I'm just pumping gas. I'm just sitting there idling. Kenzie had her window down. She's talking with my sister in the back of the car. They're hanging out, but they can hear everything. They're like, "What the heck? What's going on?" So anyway, I'm outside. They walk over. One of the guys walks over. His name is Harry, and I love Harry. We talk to him every Sunday. Okay, Harry's a great man. Oh, Harry walks right up to me, puts his hand on my shoulder. Hello. My name is Harry. I've been called upon the Lord today to spread some good and just be a presence in your heart. And, here. And he hands me a $50 gift card to Safeway. Wow. Okay. I think in the moment, I'm like, that's awesome. That's cool. That's awesome. He goes, I would love to see you this Sunday at church. I go, Roger that. All right, cool. And again, for me, it was pretty surface level because, you know, I'm more reserved. If you want my genuine opinion, I've prayed quietly for years and years and years and years, and I just did it by myself, and I didn't go to church, and I didn't tell anybody I prayed because I didn't need to. My personal belief is my relationship with God is for me. I don't have to be preachy about it necessarily. There's a time and a place. So, anyways, I thought nothing of it. I look over to Kenzie. She's crying, dude. She's crying bad. She's got big old, her eyes are all puffy and tears are coming down her face. And she goes, "That was a sign. That was a sign. That was a sign." She goes, "I've literally been asking." She goes, "I feel like I've actually even been begging. I wanted to be heard, and what do I need, and just anything." And we go to church now, guys. It's a good little story. I thought I'd share it with you. If you don't like it, obviously, you guys probably skipped already to where I'm at now. But if you did like it, cheers. If you go to church, cheers. I'll be praying for you, and I hope you're doing well. And there's a few people that I want to come to church with us, but maybe they've been busy or their mind's elsewhere. We'll get them there. We've already met. I'd say we probably already met half a dozen families that we talk to now every week, and we save seats for family Angel and I think it's Angel and Jennifer are the couple. I know them well, and I think their kid's name is Rosie, something like that. Sophie, Rosie, somewhere like that. She's a cute kid. She's like 2. Anyways, they're a couple that's our age, and husband works on base. He's a soldier, and I live literally 5 minutes from base. I was born on base, and my dad Halo jumped on base a lot. Um, Actually, I don't know if he did it here or if he did that back east. Don't come for me in the chat about it because it's not that deep. Story is I like that. I like that I'm meeting people that I kind of grew up around to begin with, and it's just cool. Similar interests and everything's full circle. I'm a military baby that was raised in the faith, and now I'm meeting military guys that are raising in the faith. And we're raising our children in it, and it's a cool thing. My biggest takeaway is this: um, whatever your belief is, believe in it fully. And back to my earlier point about getting kicked off of Reddit for making fun of Muhammad. If you believe in Muhammad, I have no ill will against you. I just believe in challenging difficult concepts, difficult conversations, right? I mean, you want to speak on me and my guy? Dude, Jesus, man. I love Jesus. I'm going to preface that. But there's rumors. Rumors. This is conspiracy. This is back on my side of the podcast, right? But there's rumors. Don't come for me, J-Man. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. A little bit of haze. There's rumors that Jesus and Mary Magdalene were married. And if you don't know the story of Mary Magdalene, she was more or less, it's not literal, but she was more or less a prostitute. And she was afflicted by demons before Jesus saved her. And he did save her. This is a witnessed miracle, right? This is something that's actually canon. Even historians agree on this. This is not a biblical testament. It's a historical testament. But he basically exorcised the demons out of her, and I think she was essentially a sex worker. And he essentially married her. The rumor is that's not the biblical or historical side. That's the rumor. So where I'm going with this is, dude was married to a prostitute potentially. Okay, If you want to talk about controversy, my book has controversy too. My guy has controversy too. Shit, people I'm ancestrally related to are the ones who killed Jesus. That's just the truth. Jews killed Jesus. And I don't mean that literally. Technically, it was the Romans that did it. But who snitched? Who turned him in? Who got him in trouble? Who demanded that his punishment be lethal? It was the Jewish people of what it wasn't Israel then, but it was Judea, I think. I'd have to get out my Bible. I'm sorry, but or I could Google it. But my phone's being recording right now. Uh, but the point is the Jewish people of the time were the ones that said, no, he defiled our belief system, and he said he blasphemed, and he's a bad man. He must be put to death. Pontius Pilate, he said, are you sure? Got this man here, he's a murderer. We've got this man here. He may or may not have told a lie. They said, kill Jesus. That's literally what they said, man. So anyways, what I'm going with that is everybody's controversial. But my takeaway is if you believe in something, believe in it fully. Don't have negativity in your heart for people that believe in otherwise. I don't have negativity towards Muslims. My favorite comedian is Muslim, Dave Chappelle. My favorite rap group is Muslim, A Tribe Called Quest. Multiple of my other favorite rap artists are Muslim. Ice Cube, Nas, I think The Game is Muslim. There's a lot of people I'm influenced by that are Muslim. And I love and respect all of their works and their arts appropriately. But I'm allowed to critique their faith. And I'm allowed to share why I don't believe in it. And short and sweet, I don't believe in anybody that's a fucking pedophile. I don't believe in anybody that cheats on his wife with a child. I don't. And again, Jesus, he probably did stuff that you maybe disagreed with. But as far as I'm concerned, he lived without sin. That's how I'm going to be. But we'll move on from the theological conversation because most people don't like that. That's fine. I totally respect that. If you're a Jewish person, that's good. If you're a Muslim, that's good. If you're a Christian, that's good. If you're a Buddhist, that's good. If you're an atheist, that's good. But if you're an atheist, please don't be disrespectful to other people because I've noticed that that's very trendy. People like to be rude when other people don't believe in what they do. So what? I believe in Santa and you don't. All right, next. Not that deep. Not that deep, bro. Do you like the Seahawks? Do you like the Mariners? Do you like the Seattle Kraken? Right? Way I see it, these Seahawks are kicking ass. The problem is I'm not watching. Yes, sir. You said that. And it's not like that. It really isn't like that. I got a kiddo now, and I'll be honest, dude. Seahawks games, I don't remember them being quite this long. I think it's the halftime because once halftime rolls around, you're like, fuck, all right, whatever. And I've watched a couple quarters here and there, but it's hard to watch, man. It's hard to watch when they say foul, flag, kiss my ass every 5 seconds. Can I get an amen? I mean, golly. But that all in, I still hope they stomp everybody's throat. I hope they go to the Super Bowl and I hope they win, dude. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Super cool. Super Bowl. uh, and the Mariners, dude, they kicked some sweet, sweet ass last year. One game away from The World Series? Pretty smug. Pretty cool. My man, not to be a fucking buzzkill, but I had some losses in 2025. I lost my grandpa, and I lost my reptile, and I lost a pet. Both of them passed away, which was tough. Happened while I wasn't working too, so I didn't have anything. I didn't have anything to take away from it. Well, actually, excuse me, my grandpa died. He died right when I started State Farm, but yeah, it was tough. Lost some people, man. I've lost a lot of people. That's why I got all this gray hair. I've lost a few pets too, but that was Kenzie's first pet she had lost, I think. First real one. She had like a stray cat or whatever when she was a kid. But I don't think she had like a legit pet. She went out, bought, raised, and sadly died. So it was tough. We're kicking though. We'll be alright. Hopefully, this year is full of just new beginnings and life and prosperity. I've got some friends that are expecting babies or have already had some babies. Congratulations to you guys all. I'm not going to name drop you. I'll let you have your privacy, of course, because that would be so silly to, yeah, bring up somebody's stuff like that. I don't talk about Millie Joe too much. I will for the sake of podcasting, but I'm not going to show her. She's not going to be on camera. Like I said, she's going to be, no digital footprint until she wants to be digitally walking around. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. I'm not quite sure how far in we're into this thing, man. How long have we been doing this thing, man? I don't want to do math. I think we're at like 48 minutes plus 28 minutes. Do you think we should sign out? I'll be honest, when you smoke a stick this long, you got to take a shit. And I think we're at that stage in the game. I hate to be super candid with you, but whether it's now or later, as soon as I turn that camera off, yeah, we're taking a shit. I mean, come on. I was going to try to find a way to sugarcoat that, but there's no way. There's no way. That's tough. Oh, I think it's been a really good past year, year and a half, though. Losing the grandpa was tough. Losing that job was tough. Losing my pet was tough. Losing Charlie Kirk was pretty tough. I actually really believed in a lot of stuff he said, and I started disagreeing with some of the stuff he said too. But I mostly agreed with a lot of them, and a lot of people may not like that, but that's fine. You don't have to like everything I say. That's not the point of this. The point of this is to have a chat, hang out, talk about conspiracies, and get to know one another. But I've been offline for a long time, so you guys got to get caught up. Yeah, I think that's it. I think this thing's about killed. Sure is. I think that's about it. You guys have yourself a good one. I'll try to get this uploaded quickly. I don't know why I said that like it's gonna matter because when I upload it, it's gonna be uploaded. But either way, I'm working on a banger podcast right now. Uh, I got to get my ducks in a row because, for lack of better phrasing, the government will not respond to my request. But I'm working on something that's going to be long-winded, and it's going to be tough. I'm going to have to try to keep it all in a row because I want to do it in one podcast, but it's going to be hard. Um, if it ends up being a part one, part two, stick with it. Bear with me. It's it's a tiny little story, but it's got to be my. I got to tell my story, because who knows? I might get censored from YouTube and Spotify here soon too. And if that happens, I just want to at least get this out there. I don't know. Call it intuition, but shit feels weird right now. Shit feels spiritual and shit don't feel right. But I feel good. My house feels safe. I feel safe and secure in my work and in my environment. Universally, though, something feels off. You know what I mean? So I'll get my story out there. And in the meantime, you guys stay safe. You guys take care of one another. If you got extra money, give it to the homeless and try not to hurt anybody with how you treat one another. Cheers. Little sound check, little sound check. Before we do this, my glasses are a little bit foggy. You better watch your mouth, dude. Way you're talking to me, not a fan of it, brother. Hey, that's not bad. A little cordage. I knocked something over. A little bit cordage. A little bit of cordage. Sound check number 2. I look like I got fucking alien eyes, dude. Cheers. How do we look? How does this look? Is it terrible? It probably is. I've been offline for a year, dude. Whoa. Whoa. Sorry, I'm trying to get the camera.